So I find it interesting that so much people will go years into their fitness journey operating from a suboptimal state, even when all your other lifestyle choices have been dialed in. You're managing your stress well and also managing your cortisol levels well. You're eating right. You're making sure that you're getting the sleep that you need. You're making sure that you're working out harder than last time and you're keeping yourself dialed in. If you're doing all of these things and you're still not seeing the results that you're looking for, then maybe that's something to look into. What's going on, guys? Zinni here, coming from Holy Kinetics, and we're here to actually start a new series called The Sports Bible. We're going to be breaking down various different terms that you hear being floating around in the bodybuilding industry, and we're going to be able to break it down and we're going to give it to the community so that everyone in this community can have knowledge on what these terms mean and have a better understanding, both physically but also from a scientific standpoint, of these certain things within the bodybuilding industry. So today we're going to be talking about the term hypogonadism and or low testosterone. Let's dive into it. To just give a brief overview, hypogonadism is when the body does not produce enough testosterone for it to function in its proper capabilities, which is the primary male sex hormone. Do keep in mind, hypogonadism can both affect males and females, so it's not just justified for males, it's also for females as well. Low T and its effects can really start at any age. It can even start from the age of when puberty first starts, both for males and females, if it's not handled at a proper time. Low T has been a term that's been floating around since the 80s, and it's also something that has been floating around more heavily now in the bodybuilding industry. Low T and or hypogonadism does not only affect people that are on cycle, this also affects people that are completely natural as well, that have never even touched the stuff. So it can be effective on both sides of the spectrum. There's various things that can affect low T and or affect hypogonadism within the body. Things like diet, lifestyle choices, the way that you're living, how much sleep that you're getting a day. So many benefactors that can either, in a sense, relieve or increase the effects of low T and or hypogonadism within the body. Being affected by low T can really be a cumbersome topic to even talk about and to even handle, where most people are rather self-conscious to even state that they may have low T or they may be dealing with hypogonadism. It's an issue that a lot of the times people kind of brush underneath the rug and think, oh, I'm not going to be affected by this until I'm older or when my body can't produce enough testosterone. But do keep in mind, what if your baseline understanding is you weren't producing enough testosterone in the first place? So these are the issues at hand that bring this topic to light. Bodybuilders in particular are always at risk for hypogonadism. Just become intense physical demands on the body, certain supplements that can be introduced into the body that can cause for low T to be created. And in fact, a lot of research has shown that up to 50% of bodybuilders have been affected by low testosterone. And again, hypogonadism affects more than just how you feel in the gym. It affects everything from males having decreased muscle mass, decrease in strength and endurance. It can decrease your sex drive. You can be dealing with depression. You maybe find difficulties in breathing or even difficulties in achieving erections. And it's just a whole bunch of issues that play down from it. In my females, it can decrease your sex drive. It can also make it difficult for you to achieve an orgasm. It can cause you to have hot flashes, vaginal dryness, decrease in bone density. All these things can stem from having your hormones out of whack. Hypogonadism has even been linked to irregular periods and irregular cycles within females. So again, my ladies out there, when you're looking at these type of things that are happening with you, even if you want to look at the example of, say, as a man, say if I was with my significant other and she was taking an oral contraceptive. An oral contraceptive, most of what they take is a form of a type of steroid. So technically you could say that your girl is on cycle if she's taking an oral contraceptive. Nonetheless, those type of things, what do they cause? Irregular periods. So what is that doing? You are affecting your hormonal levels for the sake of you taking this oral contraceptive. And the fact of the matter is this: the importance of hormonals plays such a big factor both in males and females. Literally, the female body is based off of their hormones. What do I mean by this? the cycle of a woman going through her period once a month, and really it's not even once a month. If you really want to be honest, a woman's hormonal period or her hormonal cycle that she goes through a month, it's literally the whole entire month, because it goes from a state of bleeding, then after bleeding you go through a stage of recovery, and from that stage of recovery you go through a stage of preparation, ovulation, and then preparation into the next phase of bleeding again. So literally a woman's whole life is based off of her hormones. And a lot of the times, and this is just a side tangent, a lot of women get displaced or they get discredited that their hormones don't really matter. Then they reach 40 or 50 years old, trying to figure out why they're dealing with menopause, because things like contraceptives, lifestyle choices, the hormones that's being put into the foods are all affecting a woman's body, causing them to have these issues that are never handled until they're in their 40s or 50s. When in actuality, these are things that should have been handled in their teens and their 20s. This is why we stress the importance of always getting your blood work done and getting a panel done. Really, you should be getting blood work pulled every 6 months. You should be checking blood pressure every day, especially if you're on cycle. But if you're not, then it's just something you should at the very least be checking in very periodically. Especially if you're thinking about going serious into this bodybuilding industry and trying to compete. You're going to need to be able to keep these baselines, and you need to keep a record for yourself. This is how you're able to understand the pre-genetic dispositions that you deal with in your life, and also understand how your body reacts to certain things, how your body reacts to stress, how your body reacts to lack of sleep, how your body reacts to eating right. All these things play a factor into how your hormones are in your body. The average person doesn't even go about getting their blood work done and or even getting a hormonal test until more than likely their 30s, 40s, or 50s. So these are the type of things that can be looked into even when you're younger, if you wanted to learn and understand and get a better understanding of what they call your baseline. A good example of this is Alex Eubanks, yet another fitness influencer within the industry, who has come out and stated that he does in fact have low testosterone. Now do keep in mind a lot of the stresses that he puts towards his body, always being in a low body fat percentage, always working all the time, always trying to create contact, that go-getter lifestyle can all affect your testosterone levels and being able to produce a proper amount of testosterone for your body to function. And I say that as a key part, for your body to function, because everybody's amount of what is a proper amount of testosterone for their body to function is different. Just because one person has 600 on their count for free testosterone doesn't mean that they're better than that person that has 300 on their free testosterone count. So you have to look at the lifestyle and the way that the person is actively living their lifestyle. If there is limits in what they're doing, and if there's limits in how you're feeling when it comes to your lifestyle, then it's always something to look into. But you can operate optimally from a state of being in what they would call low T. It just depends on the body, which shows that everybody is different and it's always something to look into. So you're probably asking, Zinni, what are some other ways then besides doing blood work where I can be able to handle this? There's various different ways. Of course, lifestyle choices, diet choices, getting your sleep, making sure you're operating optimally, making sure you're checking all of your benchmarks. But like I said, if you're checking all your benchmarks and you're still not noticing any type of aid or any type of change, then again, you probably need to go and look into a different form of therapy. Probably something like TRT, probably something like HRT, so that you can be able to get an understanding of where your hormones are at. So you can know how to deal with these type of things. And for my guys that are feeling like they're lacking performance, these are also things that you need to look into as well. If you're feeling tired, if you're always feeling lethargic all the time, if you're feeling that your dopamine is through the roof and you're never getting any type of excitement, if you're drinking coffee after coffee after coffee after coffee trying to give yourself energy and it's not doing anything, if you're inside of the gym, you're pumping weight, you've been pushing it, you've been trying to increase the numbers and you're just not getting there, and or maybe you're not achieving size and seeing gains of what you should be seeing, then like I said, then that's something to look into, because it may not be you. It is you, but it's probably not you in that aspect. It could be something going on biologically within the body. And you don't know these things until you pull some blood work. You won't know these things until you get some testing done. So much people are afraid of the doctor. So much people are so concentrated on trying to keep themselves healthy and keep themselves focused. But at the end of the day, you can't do a blood test. You can't do an EKG. You can't do a panel on your own. You need a medical professional to do that. And getting these things done is easy to do. It just takes time and actually you putting in the effort to get these things done. And for all my viewers in America, the one blessing that we have about being in America is that medical focus of anything like this is actually pretty easy to do, and it just takes time for you going in to go see your doctor and or going to a specific hormonal doctor, which are available from a lot of different people, to be able to get this type of testing done. We actually are very lucky to even have that, because there's other places. You go to Canada and try to handle something like this, they'll turn you away and they'll give you a very hard time. Go anywhere else around the world, they give you a very hard time in trying to handle anything when it comes to hormones, and even when it comes to you just getting blood work done, period. Here, I can literally call my doctor right now and go get a blood panel done today, probably within the next few hours if I wanted to. It's not going to be a complete blood panel, but it will be a blood panel where at the very least, it's going to show my lipids. It's going to show my LDLs and my HDLs. It's going to show my red blood count. It's going to show enough that's going to give me enough leeway to get a baseline. If I'm looking for something that's a little bit deeper, then I need to go towards a hormonal clinic if I'm looking for a full blood panel. All in all, guys, this just shows that this term of hypogonadism is a very deep and a very powerful topic that needs to be addressed. And it goes to more than just feeling right. It's about making sure that your body's operating in an optimal state. And there's nothing wrong with getting blood work. There's nothing wrong with going to go to see a doctor and get these things checked out. Because if you can just do that, you're one step ahead than a lot of the rest of the community. A lot of the times getting blood work done gets looked at as if I don't have time for that. But you have time to go to the gym. You have time to eat right. Why wouldn't you go get blood work done? Why wouldn't you want to see where you're at? Because at least then you have a baseline. If you have a baseline to work with, then at least you know what you're dealing with, not only on a physical level, but you know what you're dealing with on a biological level, on a chemical level, on a scientific level. And from there, you can go a lot farther than just depending on physicality and bro science and all this other stuff. But all in all, guys, we're going to end the video right here. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please make any comments down below with any issues that you may be dealing with. Say that you've ever had experience having low T. Please, we want to hear it in the comments so we can start a discussion. And with that, guys, we're going to end it right here. This is Holy Kinetics. Peace.